So we actually called you last week because we wanted you to come in and talk about what is going to happen now that the Congress is essentially Republican. There was all that talk about, completely dialing it back, breaking it apart. But now it's also, there's a Supreme Court case that's pending going forward about these federal subsidies that you were just talking about. What's going to happen? And is there a way to kind of scuttle around that decision by making new laws in Congress?
Well, let's talk about two separate issues. So one is congressional control. With congressional control, really nothing fundamental, I think, is going to change. It's very important to remember there's three fundamental pieces of this law. There's changes to insurance regulations so that insurers can no longer discriminate against the sickest Americans. There's a mandate to make it possible for insurers to stay in business under those conditions. And there's subsidies to make health insurance affordable. As long as the individual mandate, the subsidies, and the insurance market regulations stay in place, the law works. There are other pieces which are controversial and less central to the law, like the employer mandate or the medical device tax.
Okay, but going back to what you said, because in states where they don't have their own exchanges,
right,
like we do here in Massachusetts, that's what this Supreme Court case is about.
That's what the lawsuit's about.
They threatened to lose health care for tens of thousands of people because they didn't go ahead and put their own exchanges in place, state by state. There's 36 states that did not do that.
Right. So on the congressional side, they can't really attack those fundamental pillars of the law. The Supreme Court case does attack a fundamental pillar of the law, which is it says, because of really a misreading of the law, it says that the plaintiffs claim, through a misreading of the law, that states that don't run their own exchanges shouldn't deliver subsidies to people, which is patently at odds with what the law is trying to do. And moreover, this isn't the Constitution. We can ask the framers. If you ask the people who wrote the law, this is not what they intended.
Okay, so you think that the Supreme Court will see the intention?
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I mean, I think it would be an enormous tragedy if they didn't. Any sensible reading of this law shows the intention. Let me give you one simple example, Emily. In the law, it says you don't have to buy health insurance if it costs more than 8% of your income. There's a mandate exemption. If we get rid of these subsidies, 99% of the people who get these subsidies could not buy health insurance for less than 8% of income. Why would they put in a clause that applied to the entire population? It makes no sense.
To kill the whole thing.
Basically, it would effectively kill the whole thing. If you get rid of these subsidies, then 99% of people can't afford health insurance, and the law unravels. Why would Congress write a law that unraveled itself?